I was feeling kind of down the other day. It's just been such a hard year for so many people, ourselves included. And I wondered, how can I turn this negativity into something positive?
I'm sorry, Nicole. I can relate, and I bet you can too. This year has probably been harder than most years for you. But if you're willing, you can learn some very important financial lessons from COVID-19. Actually, learning from challenging situations we face is one of the secrets to finding happiness and stability. We've been trying to do that all year and wanted to take some time today to share 7 financial lessons we've learned from COVID-19. So let's dive into a first piece of financial advice we've learned in the wake of COVID-19. The danger of not having a financial plan. A financial plan is a roadmap for your money. COVID has taught us all that without one, it's really hard to make it through a challenging time. Having a financial plan means having a purpose for every dollar you make and every dollar you spend.
Yeah, and a financial plan has 3 pieces: clear financial goals, milestones, and contingency plans. Many people think that because they're paying their bills and not losing their money, they're good. So they just sort of wing it when it comes to their money. This pandemic has shown us that that is not good enough. You need to follow a plan for your finances so you can constantly improve them. When unexpected events hit your life, it won't wreck you financially.
You're exactly right, Nicole. The next thing you want to include in your financial plan is specific financial milestones you want to hit. So let's say you have debt that you want to pay off. Go beyond that desire and set debt payoff milestones. Break your total amount owed into chunks and assign dates that you want to pay them off by. The benefit of milestones is that they can help you combat anxiety better because when trouble hits, you'll know where you're going financially. You can look at your numbers and see where you are versus where you expected to be and how to get back on track. That's an empowering position and gives you something to shoot for.
Absolutely. Now, the final aspect of your financial plan is to create contingency plans. That's a fancy term for thinking ahead of time about what you will do if a certain negative thing happens to you financially. For example, you could say, what will I do if I lose 15% of my income? Or if my hours are reduced by 20%? What is the first decision I will make with my money? You can game plan ahead of time what you'll cut or what you'll do to make more money, for example. This is really helpful for when negative circumstances do hit you. You'll already have thought through them ahead of time, which will give you confidence when you face adversity for real.
I love that. Now I want you to think of the financial plan we're encouraging you to make as a bicycle wheel. The next 6 things we're going to mention are the spokes, and they are all financial lessons we've learned this year. Number 2 is not having enough money saved. Experts have said for years that you need to have at least $1,000 saved as an emergency fund. I've said it a lot on our website. COVID has taught us that $1,000 is not nearly enough. You never know when you're going to lose your job or have your hours cut back. Having money saved is one of the best ways to weather challenging times.
So how much should you save?
That's an excellent question. You really need to save at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Everyone's situation is different, so the amount you should save will depend on your expenses. But since we run our own business and have 3 young children, we are working towards having 12 months of mortgage payments and 9 months of living expenses in our emergency fund. Even though this year has been rough, we are at 10 months of mortgage expenses and closing in on 9 months of living expenses. We feel really strongly that we want enough of a cash cushion to take care of our kids if our business just blew up suddenly.
That's great, John. But what if you feel like saving money is an impossible goal?
That's natural to feel that way, but you need to know it's not impossible to save that much money. You just have to start, and the very first step you need to take is to open a savings account at a bank paying a good rate, which today is difficult to find. CIT Bank, which we link to below, is a terrific option. You can open an account and set up automatic deposits so you don't feel it coming out of your paycheck. If you're struggling to save, look for expenses you can cut and things you can trim without making life unbearable. If you don't have a budget, make one. We have a video that shows you how, step by step, so watch that.
You know, one of the best ways to save more is to make more. And that's our third lesson learned from COVID-19. Millions of people have lost their jobs or have had a reduction of hours. The days of relying on one source of income are over. And we're sorry to say that because we know it sounds harsh, but it's reality. Relying on one income stream is dying, if not dead already. You need to have multiple streams of income so you can weather a storm. And there are lots of easy ways to make money on the side right now. Delivery app jobs through apps like Postmates, which we link to below, and doing side hustles from home like freelance writing or proofreading are excellent ways to make $20 or more per hour. And we have videos on how to make money doing all those things in our Legit Ways to Make More Money playlist. So watch those next to find another stream of income or two to help. It's a great way to help you save more money or pay off debt if you need to do either one of those two things.
Speaking of debt, that's our fourth lesson learned from COVID, the importance of avoiding debt. The New York Federal Reserve said recently that one financial impact of COVID-19 is that American credit card holders have paid down $82 billion of credit card debt in the second quarter of this year alone. That's awesome. Reports also show that we have over $900 billion in revolving high-interest debt, when the average interest rate on credit cards is usually over 15%. That is going to be debilitating if you have debt. While it's great to see that debt payoff is increasing, COVID has taught us that debt should still be treated like the plague. We need to avoid it at all costs, and if we have it, we need to stop living with it like it's normal, because everyone else we know has debt too. We need to treat debt like a financial emergency because it is. You really need to pay off your debt as soon as possible. Like saving, it can feel overwhelming. I know, I graduated college with $50,000 in debt and had to work 5 years to pay it off. I was scared and overwhelmed, but I got through it one step at a time, and you can too. The most important step, again, is to start. Credible is a great place to find lower interest rates, so more of your payment goes towards your principal and not the interest. Credible helps you compare lenders to find a low rate on a personal loan so you can consolidate all of your credit card debt into one lower interest rate personal loan. That will help you pay off your debt quicker, and you only have to deal with one payment.
Now, another thing that many people feel overwhelmed by but really need to be doing to build wealth is investing. That's our fifth financial lesson. 2020 has taught us to take advantage of opportunity with investing. The stock market has seen wild swings this year, but there has been a ton of opportunity for those who stay in it. If the Great Recession of 2007 has taught us anything, it's that many people pull out of the market when they see declines and end up losing out on the upswing. This ultimately results in a loss in earnings. We've seen good upswings, and if you've been sitting out, that's lost potential earnings. Now is always the right time to invest in the stock market. M1 Finance is a great tool to get you started investing. We link to it below, and we have a few videos on how to start investing with very little money, so check those out.
You know, I just bought Disney stock for our two oldest kids, and I'm excited to work with them to help them learn more about investing and watch their stock grow. In fact, we'll probably make a habit of checking their investments after every episode of The Mandalorian. But let's move on to our sixth lesson learned from COVID, the need to analyze your spending and avoid needless expenses. It's easy to overspend on things like your cell phone and cable service. When money is already tight and times are hard, why make them harder on yourself by paying more than you should for something? Our daughter was just asking me this the other day. I mentioned that we might switch from Cricket to Ting Wireless because Ting is running an awesome deal right now where you can get unlimited talk and text for just $10 a month. And you can get data for just $5 a gig. So you only pay for what you use. They run on the Verizon and T-Mobile networks, so the coverage is great. Anyways, I was telling her all this and she was like, well, why switch when you're happy with what you have? I told her what I'll tell you. You should never pay more when you don't have to.
That's funny. Now her conversation with me makes sense. Well, if you're looking for a cheap cable alternative, check out Philo TV. At $20 per month, it's the cheapest cable alternative out there. You get 63 channels of live TV from popular networks and unlimited cloud DVR. You can learn more in our Philo TV review video.
Okay, you made it to our last lesson, and it's the best because it's the reason for doing all of this in the first place. Financial stability needs to be your ultimate goal. Financial stability is less a number and more of a state of mind. It's being able to sleep at night and know you're making progress towards your financial goals. It's being wise with your finances by saving for the future, spending wisely in the present, and building wealth for you and your family.
If you're willing to learn these lessons with us, you can get through coronavirus and be prepared to handle the next storm too. Let us know what questions you have in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit that red subscribe button so you can be notified of all our new content.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.